Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here for my weekly comic book review. This review is a little late. Usually I have these things uploaded on Fridays, but unfortunately I was busy traveling Friday, so I waited until, and I was busy all day today, so I had to do it tonight. So I had to do it Saturday night. Hopefully by the time we'll see this, it'll be Sunday, and there's still time in the weekend for everyone to get their comics. Now, enough of this jibber jabber, let's get into some comic books. Starting off from DC Comics, we have Earth 2, number 21. Pretty much evil Superman's attack on Earth 2 continues. He not only rips off the Atom's own arm and beats him with it, he uses heat vision to cut the Atom's arm off and beat him with it. And also, he also destroys a spaceship of humans who are trying to leave Earth in what they're calling a space ark. And he pretty much destroys it and watches as all the people from the Ark fall down back to Earth. So, and also the Apocalyptian that Superman's working with, Bedlam, is apparently controlling the minds of Mr. Terrific, Terry Sloan, and Mr. Miracle so that they can open a portal that will transport Earth to where Apocalypse is, because apparently Apocalypse is dying. And also, through this connection, Bedlam finds out about the Kryptonian vow that Sloane's been hiding. Okay, if you like it, okay, Tom Taylor wrote this. He wrote the Injustice comic. If you like an evil Superman, I'd say this is definitely a buy. If you like the Injustice comic book and you like seeing Superman on the other side of as an antagonist, then yeah, this is definitely a buy for you. However, Earth 2, I kind of feel like we are losing touch with what the book was originally established about, because originally it was supposed to like showcase the Golden Age versions of Green Lantern, Flash, but now they haven't been seen for like a while, really. And I think, I hope we get, and I think Green Lantern is supposed to be reappearing. I think next issue, so Alan Scott will be back. Hope Jay Garrick gets back too, because I really think now we're starting to lose a little touch on the other characters of Earth 2, instead of just like all the versions of Superman, Batman, and Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane. Yeah, overall, if you like Injustice and you like seeing Superman as a villain, then Earth 2 is definitely a buy for you. Green Arrow, number 29. Pretty much after abandoning his father and Shadow, Oliver has pretty much tracked down an outsider clan who are loading a boat with sarin gas, and Oliver stops them. Then he finds out the location of Komodo, who's apparently at the outsiders' main base, the Cathedral, and Oliver goes there, and of course, right before Oliver gets there, his half-sister, Emiko, who was raised by Komodo, and and she's also Oliver's half sister, but she doesn't know that. Has apparently found out that Shadow, her mother, is alive, which means that her father lied to her. Sorry, and also when Oliver breaks in, though, he gets caught. He gets captured and beaten, and he learns that apparently he only stopped one outsider cell, and that there's apparently 3 more out there, and. And right when Komodo learns of it, he brings Miko with him. And Miko, we kind of get a little more background into her. When she finds out the truthful lie, when I say truthful lie, I mean it's like the same it's like almost the same situation. Pretty much Komodo told her that, well, she believes that Komodo is her real father, but he explains that apparently Shadow died because Oliver Queen killed, not Oliver's father, Robert, killed Shadow, but she learned that Shadow wasn't the case, and he convinces her that Robert Queen is evil, and but however, when she sees Oliver, and she says that she's sworn a vengeance to kill Oliver Queen, and when she finally meets Oliver, Oliver tells her that don't listen to him, he's lying, I'm your brother. She doesn't believe him, however, she just doesn't have the strength to kill him, and at that moment Komodo instead shoots Oliver in the head with an arrow, and that's the end of the issue. Okay, yeah, the whole Oliver getting shot in the head thing, I really don't buy it. I mean, I know it's a clear shot, like, right through Oliver's head, but somehow, yeah, I don't buy that Oliver's dead. So, shock value ending. I do think it is interesting that they are now starting to get, that we do have an issue that is kind of focused on Oliver's half-sister, because I think that she might play a later role in the series. Like, probably what I think is once this whole outsider story arc is done, and she probably learns the truth that Komodo isn't her father, he lied to her entire life, and also that about Shado and Robert. I don't think she's probably going to trust any of the adults, and the only one she might trust is Oliver, because so far in this issue, he's the only one who told her something that was true. So the way I see it is, if she does decide to stay with Oliver, then she might have the potential to become Oliver's new sidekick or apprentice, like the new Speedy or something. That would be interesting. That would be something I would like to see. But right now, I would say Green Arrow, unless you've been reading all the Outsider story arc since the beginning, then this issue is probably a borrowed from a friend. Alright, next up, Forever Evil, number 6. I don't really want to give too much away, okay, I'm going to be dropping some huge well, you know what, I'm not going to say anything, but we learned that apparently Nightwing, Grid has hooked up Nightwing to a device that in the Watchtower called the Murder Machine, where apparently Nightwing's heart is now linked to a nuclear bomb, and if his heart, and this bomb is on a timer and it's going to go off, and unless and the bomb can only be stopped if Nightwing's heart stops. However, they can't disconnect. Batman tries to disconnect the bomb, he can't do it, and so then Lex Luthor decides to get the idea that he'll just basically shock Dick Grayson and stop his heart. And at that moment, Batman realizes you killed Nightwing, and so he starts beating the crap out of him. And Luthor's like trying to calm Batman down, saying there's still time. And also the identity of the hooded figure from Earth 3 is revealed. All I can say is I totally called it. And like, it was one of my, like, the identity of this guy. It was basically the guy who I've probably been saying who I've definitely said the most likely suspect it was. However, it wasn't the way I think, because you understand why they had to completely cover him. Like, it wasn't just the hood. It was also they had to gag him too, because well, you'll understand. All I can say, well, you'll understand when you get to the issue in the last few pages, once you really get into who the prisoner is. All I can say about the whole Nightwing and the shock glove thing, okay, yeah, most of us, it really did seem, for a while it did kind of seem like Nightwing would have died, but now I really think he might just, after this, Dick Grayson just might go into hiding. Also, the whole Luthor using obviously Luthor was trying to use the shock glove, was trying to shock Dick Grayson's heart, shock Dick Grayson into cardiac arrest so that the bomb will be stopped. Then they could disconnect him from the machine and then just basically restart his heart. Like, actually, that is basically what happened in Arkham Origins with Bane during that whole heart monitor scene towards the end of the game. If you didn't get that far, sorry, spoilers, but yeah, Batman did the same thing. So, yeah, I know that happened in the Arkhamverse, but it does kind of seem like a weird ripoff where we have Batman on the other side of that, where he really thinks Luthor actually killed Dick Grayson, just like how in the game Jim Gordon thought Batman actually killed Bane. But yeah, that was interesting. But overall, Forever Evil number 6, pretty great. Really did like the whole scene where Dick was hooked up. He and Bruce do have, and I did like the dialogue that was shared between Batman and Dick Grayson when he's trying to disarm the bomb. Dick's basically telling Batman, like, you can go, it's okay. Batman's like, no, I'm not leaving without you. So, like, really great scene that shows the bond between the two of them. But yeah, overall, Forever Evil number 6, I would definitely say is my DC pick of the week. Alright, now for Marvel. Captain America number 18. Captain America and Falcon managed to track down Dr. Mindbubble's location just as the Gungnir Hellcarrier is ready to launch. And at that moment, all of S.H.I.E.L.D. is called in to try to stop the Hellcarrier, and that's basically what happens. A lot of action. I will say this: there is a lot of action. If you're a fan of issues where there's not really much dialogue, but really more just a lot of action scenes with Captain America just basically taking out mind-controlled S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, then this is the issue for you. If not, skip it. Next up, She-Hulk, number 2. All right, now we're starting to establish a. All right, we pretty much had first issue established what this series is going to be about. It was Jennifer Walters quitting her old law practice and setting up her own firm. Now we're starting to see the build of a supporting cast where we are introduced to her secretary, who's really interesting. The new secretary she hired, who is really interesting, and also we're reintroduced to former Avenger Hellcat, who basically after Jennifer's first day at her new firm agrees to go have a little bit of a girls' night out with Hellcat, and during their night they discover Hellcat takes She-Hulk with her to an AIM cell, which they're able to destroy, and then afterwards she asks Hellcat to kind of help her out with some things and like be like kind of a be sort of an investigator for her just in case she needs some information and stuff, which Hellcat agrees to. And the next day and the following day, Jennifer goes to her office where she discovers her first real client, Christophe Bernard, who, if you don't know, is pretty much Dr. Doom's adopted son, and he's there to defect from Latveria, and he's requesting political asylum. So yeah, okay. First issue was all about establishing the direction of the series. This one, pretty much it's just building up the support cast of the series, and it looks very interesting. We get an old character who I'm pretty sure some old Avengers fans are going to recognize, Hellcat. We also get the new character. It's very nice. This book does remind me a lot of how Daredevil started off when Mark Waid took over, where we pretty much had the new direction of the series and introduced to some old and new members of the support cast. So yeah, it's got the same feel to it, which I like. But it's still but it's still pretty great. But unlike Daredevil, though, everyone knows who She-Hulk is, so it's definitely going to get interesting. So yeah, She-Hulk. Still, it's a fun, lighthearted. I'd say it's not very serious, but it's still. I mean, it's serious, but not all the time. It has some fun moments. So if you like fun and serious, She-Hulk is definitely the book for you. It's definitely a buy. Next up, Magneto #1. Yeah. If you love the way... Okay, Magneto is basically living in a hotel room. He's tracking down any threats to the mutant community, and he's also he's not just going after the threats themselves. He's going after people who apparently support the anti-mutant causes, whether that's, I guess it's either just going, hey, I hate mutants, or actually financially supporting anti-mutant groups. He's going after everyone, trying to go after any threat to the mutants. And one of his leads takes him to a man who was arrested for killing 3 mutants, but apparently the man was turned into a sort of mutant hunting cyborg that Magneto makes a remark that's similar to the Omega Sentinels. Like the guy's pretty much human. However, when he detects a mutant, he automatically goes into this robot mode and starts attacking, and Magneto pretty much kills him and decides that he's going to try to figure out what happened to this guy, and that's where the issue ends. Alright, pretty much Magneto, if you like... Pretty much this series was a lot like Magneto at the beginning of X-Men First Class. It really was. Magneto pretty much... he's just hunting down mutant threats, and it is a lot like young Magneto in First Class in a lot of ways, because not just the whole anti-mutant hunting, but also the way his powers are, because he even states it, because Magneto just doesn't fly around it everywhere anymore. He just, at one point he does take a car, because he remarks that now since his powers are out of whack, he had a difficulty flying cross country before passing out. So now he's pretty much not, always flying around and going, I'm Magneto, Master Mutant Magnetism. No, he's actually taking it, being a lot more covert, hiding, staying in a motel room, stuff like that. So it is definitely a interesting take on Magneto. I mean, if you do love Magneto, and trust me, I do, this is a series you should definitely try. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I mean Magneto, yeah, initially he was a bad guy, but then eventually when you got to know more about him, like more of his past was revealed, you start to view him as more of an anti-hero rather than a villain, and that's what the series does. It shows that Magneto technically really does bad things, but it's for a good but it's for good reasons in a way. So I think that if you like anti-heroes, well then, take a look at the best mutant that defines that definition. Magneto #1, definitely a buy. And finally, another #1. This was a new series that I've never actually read before. I've heard some good things about it. I've heard some bad things. But now everyone was pretty excited when this was announced, so I decided, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. And I never looked back. Moon Knight #1 by Warren Ellis. Pretty much Moon Knight is back in New York City. He's definitely doing a different approach. In the past, he would wear sort of a hooded superhero costume with cape and with a glider cape, but now he's like wearing a white suit. He's walking to crime scenes, and apparently and it's funny how this approach is different because he looks more like a civilian. He's still wearing a white mask, but whenever cops see him, they're like, "Oh, hey, it's Mr. Knight." Like, they know it's Moon Knight, but they don't want to say it's actually Moon Knight. Like, not Moon Knight the Vigilante, it's Mr. Knight, a concerned citizen. And, you know, when Moon Knight shows up at the crime scene, he's actually taking a look at everything. He's being very detailed about it. When Moon Knight gets there, the way he describes the crime scene stuff, it's very Sherlock Holmes, how he notices everything and is able to track down the killer, the criminal and stuff, and it's pretty. And when he does track down the criminal, he does it in sort of a Batman-like way, in that using stealth and his surroundings to help hide his attacks, even though he's wearing pretty much white outfit in a dark area, which lets criminals know he's coming. But that's the part he likes. And also, one more thing that's really great about this issue is that for a while, Moon Knight has been known to have multiple personality disorder. However, big bombshell in this issue, if you don't want to know, skip ahead a couple minutes, but apparently Mark Spector, Moon Knight, does not have multiple personality disorder. It turns out he actually has brain damage from the incident that gave him his superpowers that give him super strength whenever, but depending on the phase of the moon. And apparently it's not multiple personality disorder that he developed, but rather brain damage that was caused by different aspects of the moon god Khonshu. I hope I'm saying that right. And that pretty much helped create the other identities he used over the years. And so yeah, pretty interesting. The issue itself, very nice. I like the dialogue that Warren Ellis writes for Moon Knight. The crime scene, the stuff at the crime scene was being very detail-oriented. I liked that. Also, towards the end, that whole thing, how he's able to sort of alter the established history of the character, that's pretty cool too. Moon Knight #1, definitely great. I highly recommend you definitely should pick this up if you want to. Well, I highly recommend you pick it up. Because honestly, pick of the week from Marvel, I would say Moon Knight, because because this character is new to me, and already by issue 1, I'm hooked. I want to see what's next, what's coming up. I love the way Warren Ellis writes this character's dialogue. Definitely a buy. Okay, and that's it for all my comic books this week. Any news? Well, the first trailer for the new Batman Arkham game was launched for Batman Arkham Knight. It looks awesome. Players will finally be able to drive the Batmobile, which I know has made a lot of people excited. Driving the Batmobile, it's awesome. Yeah, I think I'll have another video to talk more about this next time. Nothing else I really need to. I think I want to report right now. Well, that's it for me. Thank you again for watching my comic reviews. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really enjoy making videos, and obviously since people are watching and subscribing to me, they enjoy it too. So, thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.